So ang population natin, research respondents natin ay include lalaki at saka babae. And then they are divided across the different geographic areas of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, from the Basulta area up to the two Maguindanaos, Lanao del Sur, and SGA in Cotabato City. Okay? Sige. So ito yung mga other demographic information in terms of age bracket. Big chunk of our respondents are yung nasa tinatawag nating Gen Z. So ito yung mga digital natives natin. Very important na malaman natin yung age bracket kasi yung mga responses nila often reflect kung anong age bracket sila belong. And then you have in terms of religion, 91% of our respondents are affiliated with Islam, but there are also less than, if you notice, 91% yan. So na yung 9% is a broad range of different ethnic affiliation present in the region. In terms of ethnicity, the top 3 ethnic, by ethnicity, the top 3 respondents natin are Maranao, Maguindanao, and Tausug. And then in terms of education, big chunk, 60% ng ating respondents ay either elementary or high school graduate. Okay, so findings and insights. The first findings that we have from this survey is in terms of yung tinatawag na electoral knowledge, no, ng ating mga respondents. Lumalabas ang ating mga respondents ay mababa yung kanilang kaalaman sa bagong voting system. So if you notice, ang ating upcoming 2025 regional election, bagong feature ito. Iba ito doon sa ARMM. So tinanong natin kung alam nila, kung may alam sila sa mga features ng upcoming regional election. So lumalabas, more than half ng ating respondents ay walang kaalaman tungkol sa sistema. And then meron pang 24% na may minimal knowledge. Okay, this is self-rated kung tinanong sila. Okay? And then in particular, saan ba yung mga areas na mababa yung kaalaman tungkol sa electoral system na paparating na tatahakin sa the regional level. Lumalabas mas yung 91% ng ating respondents from Sulu, 75.7% from Tawi-Tawi, and 68% coming from Maguindanao del Sur. Mababa ang kanilang kaalaman tungkol sa electoral system. Ngayon, i-disaggregate natin kaalaman tungkol saan at alin doon ang alam nila, which is the next slide. So yung feature, tinanong natin sila sa feature ng ating upcoming regional election. So halimbawa, magkakaroon tayo yung parliamentary voting. Although sa atin, hindi bago yung party list. Meron tayo sa national. Pero ito yung first time, magkakaroon tayo ng party system sa regional level. So lumalabas, isa yan sa mga, pero ang pinakamataas is yung voting ng district representatives. May pagkakaiba ang parliamentary district doon sa legislative district ng RLA noon. Noon, yung isang parliamentary, yung isang legislative district sa ARMM, 3 ang pwedeng iboto. Dito, ang ating parliamentary district, 1 lang ang pwedeng iboto. So, makita mo, 91.1% walang kaalaman tungkol doon. So, pag i-ano mo yan, lalabas siya, mga 9 out of 10 respondents, hindi nila alam yun. Na yun yung feature ng ating upcoming election. Then makikita niyo yung dalawa na 88.7, 88.9. Yung proportional representation system, yung 40 seats, paano siya i-divide, okay, pag na after they have casted the votes, at saka yung paano i-nominate, no, yung proseso ng nomination and appointment ng sectoral representatives. Wala din silang kaalaman doon, 88.7. So So yung tatlo sa gitna, mababa yung kaalaman, maraming walang alam, including yung for the first time, nasanay tayo sa previous mga elections, in previous arrangement, nasanay tayo ng regional head natin, yung regional governor, regional vice governor, directly binoboto ng mga tao. Ito, hindi rin nila alam na hindi na pala ganun yung arrangement. Na kung hindi, parliament na ang mag-e-elect ng chief minister. Okay? So, in terms of feature, mababa ang kaalaman in general, at ito, diyan mas mababa ang kaalaman sa district representation, proportional representation system, at saka sectoral representation. Pero sumusunod pa rin yung additional features ng bagong sistema natin. Sige, next po. Ito naman, tinitingnan natin in terms of other demographic considerations. Halimbawa, mga babae. At saka in terms of yung specific na sinasabi natin na malaking chunk ng ating respondents or voters, yung Gen Z. So makita mo dyan, among women voters, mahina din yung kaalaman nila tungkol sa district representative at saka yung sectoral representatives, paano pinipili. Pagdating naman sa Gen Z, makikita mo ang hindi nila alam yung knowledge about how the chief minister is selected. Okay? 78.4%, together with the sectoral representation, 78.4%. Okay? Sige. Next slide po. Papakita natin naman dito sa susunod na slide na in terms of education ng ating mga respondents, no, yung minimal knowledge na sinasabi, mas mataas siya doon sa mga walang pinag-aralan, walang formal education or hindi nakatapos. 85.5%. So parang lumalabas, the more na mababa yung pinag-aralan mo, the more na kulang yung kaalaman mo tungkol sa electoral system. Okay? And then, pangalawa, meron din tayong nakita na yung in terms of income, pag mababa yung income level ng respondent natin, mababa din yung kaalaman nila tungkol sa electoral system natin. Okay. Then sunod, same pa rin question, pero ito naman, i-disaggregate natin by ethnic affiliation. So kung titingnan natin, yung non or minimal knowledge, meron dyan pinakamataas nasa among tauso, 96.3 minimal or walang kaalaman tungkol sa electoral system natin. So that's basically doon sa 10, siyang sa 10 ang umaamin wala silang kaalaman tungkol sa sistema na to. Ang sumunod dyan ay yung Teduray Lambangian na cluster, 92.8%. And then, meron dyan yung grupo ng mga yung 80 plus. Yan, kung titingnan mo, sama. And then you have also, pwede mo i-merge yung dalawa, yung walang kaalaman, minimal knowledge, and only have basic knowledge. Makikita mo yung tatlong cluster ng Sama, Yakan, and Iranon, mga 9 out of ano din yan, 9 out of 10 din yan. Okay, sige, next slide. So, yun yung sa unang tanong, no? Kaalaman tungkol sa electoral system. Itong pangalawa, tinanong natin, sino or saan galing ang mga information na nakukuha ninyo tungkol sa election, regional election. So overall sa BARM, makikita mo, influential pala ang family and friends. So nalalaman nila, kung ano man ang nalalaman nila tungkol sa electoral system natin sa BARM, ito ay largely nakukuha nila unang-una sa circle ng kanilang mga kaibigan at pamilya. Pangalawa, nakita natin yung the power of social media and the internet. Overall po yan. And then, the local government leaders. Okay? Na mataas din. And then, finally, radyo. So, ito naman, disaggregation natin by province. So, ano yung top 2 sources by province? So, kung kanina overall, sir, interesado kami makita sa probinsya ng ganito, ano yung top 2 sources of information tungkol sa election. O, diyan po makikita natin, let me look at the disaggregation. So, family and friends, very strong siya sa Lanao. As source of information, election information, family and friends ay very strong sa Lanao. Mga 6 out of 10. Sa Sulu, mga 4 out of 10. Sa Maguindanao Norte, 5 or 6 out of 10 respondents natin. Ang sunod, yung from government leaders, local government leaders, no? Lumalabas, very strong ang influence ng source of information ang mga government leaders ay doon sa Basilan, doon sa Tawi-Tawi, at doon sa SGA. And then you have yung ang influence ng social media and internet as source of information. Very strong siya sa Maguindanao del Sur. And then finally, sa Cotabato, radyo. Sa Cotabato, radyo. More than half ng ating respondents ang nagsabi na ang source ng information nila ay radyo. Mukhang align naman with mga realities dito kasi very strong ang presence ng at very dynamic ang local radio scene dito. So that's 51%. So ang ibig sabihin, 5 out of 10 respondents natin in Cotabato City, ang source ng kanilang information ay yung local radio. Okay? Sige. Next slide naman natin, ethnic affiliation naman. Sources of information tungkol sa election pero by ethnic affiliation. Okay? So by ethnic affiliation, yung family and friends as source of information, very strong among Maranao and among the Visayan and Cebuano ethnic group. Tapos, influence ng yung government leaders as source of information, very strong sa mga Tausug at Yakan. And then, may nakalagay dyan pula. Usually, pag tinatanong, sino or ano yung source of information nyo? So, dulo ay no source of information. So, nilalagay siya as an option. Lumalabas, kaya yung dalawang orange na yan, wala silang source of information. Yun ang karamihan. Lumabas. Doon kasi pag nagtatanong tayo, ano po yung mga sources of information? So may option. Diyan, family and friends, social media, ganon. Tapos sa dulo yan, meron tayong no source. So wala doon sa listahan. Yan. Lumalabas. So yan yung Sama of Tawi-Tawi, Teduray Lambagian ng Maguindanao area. Okay? Next slide natin. Ito naman yung pangatlong tanong. So kanina, sources of information regarding election. Ito naman, sources of information regarding political party. So very specific. Saan nila nakukuha ang kanilang informasyon tungkol sa political party sa region. So ito yung nire-refer natin dito yung mga regional parties natin, no? So lumalabas, nangunguna family and friends din. Overall family and friends kasi that's 4 out of 10. So, kada 4 sa 10 respondents natin, sinasabi nila, yung kanilang circle of friends and family, yun yung primary source nila. Social media, and then government leader, and then radio. Yan yung top 4. Ngayon, tingnan naman natin using other aggregation. Halimbawa, in terms of yung mga voter segment natin, ito yung Gen Z natin, yung mga young voters natin. Ang primary source nila is social media. Social media. Ang elder voters naman natin, yung above 40, ang source ng information nila tungkol sa political party sa region, radyo. Radyo yung sa kanila. And then pag minerge mo yung gender, age, and income, lumalabas family and friends and government leaders. Local government po ito. As to distinguish it from the national government. Okay, so meron pong tayong ganito. Meron naman nakalagay na minor lang, may nagsabi na religious leader. Gusto ko lang i-clarify na ito, source of information. So hindi natin tinatanong sino ang nag-i-influence sa'yo. Okay? Kung sino yung iboboto, kung anong party iboboto mo. Ang tanong dito ay ano or sino yung source of information mo regarding political system. So hindi nagmarka ang religious leader natin as source of information regarding political parties. Sige. Next slide. Ito naman in terms of ethnicity. In terms of ethnicity, let me look at my In terms of ethnicity naman, among the Maranao and the Iranun, family and friends ang primary source. Among Tausug, Sama and Yakan, government leaders ang source ng kanilang information about political party. Ang mga Teduray Lambangian, community leaders. So to differentiate the two, ano yung government leaders? Yung government leaders yan yung local government leaders. Yung community leaders na sinasabi dyan, yan yung mga hindi elected. Yan yung mga traditional leaders natin. Okay. And then, sa Maguindanao, both Maguindanao and Visayan and Cebuano cluster, social media and internet ang source. Pero pumapangalawa rin ang radyo. So sa ating mga friends from the radio sector, local radio sector, very strong ang radyo among Maranao and among Visayan and Cebuano population. Okay, next. So meron din tayo responses na they are not aware. They are not aware of about political party. Ito yung information na yan. They are not aware about political parties. Yung mataas dyan, they are not aware about political parties, yung Tawi-Tawi, 82%. And then sunod yan, Sulu, 81.8%. Kung i-link mo ito at saka yung knowledge about political party, nagmarka din ang Sulu. Walang halos alam tungkol sa political party. And then primary source nila sa Tawi-Tawi, pero yung sinabi nila no source. Okay, so pag yung link ng dalawang information, yan siya. And then if you notice, sabi niya, not aware of any political party, ang SGA 2.1%. Ang ibig sabihin, mataas ang awareness dyan. Kasi yung not aware, 2.1%. Okay? Sige. Next slide. Ito naman, tingnan natin yung walang awareness about political party, pero tingnan natin across different consideration. So, kung ipipicture natin sino ang hindi aware tungkol sa political party, in terms of sex, mas marami ang babae. In terms of religion, mas marami yung sa Islam, 41.1%. Sunod niyan, Roman Catholics. In terms of age bracket, ang pinakamataas ay yung 40 to 59 na 84.4%. And then sumunod yung 20 to 39. And then, kung titingnan natin in terms of household income, yung walang alam tungkol sa political party, ay usually, ang income nila is less than 9,100 per month. Okay? So, kung imamarka natin ito, ang terms of education, non-formal. In terms of religion, dominant Islam. In terms of household, mababa yung income. In terms of age group, itong dalawa sa gitna. And in terms of sex or gender, babae ang walang alam pagdating sa political party. Okay, next po. So ang sunod na tiningnan natin yung ano ba yung mga issues that resonate with our likely voters. Okay? So ito yung yung close to heart, malapit sa puso. Merong tinanong sila ano yung mga issues that appeal to you. So meron itong side na to, nag-enumerate sila. So lumabas, top ang livelihood, sumunod ang education, having good jobs, and peace and order. Pero among those that they have mentioned, ano yung single most important issue para sa kanila. Lumalabas yung livelihood. Okay? Yung pangkabuhayan, subsistence, no? Okay, next po. Overall yan, ngayon tingnan natin siya by profit, by geographic area. Nasaan ang, halimbawa, yung mga livelihood, makikita mo, importante, single most important issue, livelihood is important in Danao del Sur, in Sulu, Maguindanao del Norte, Basilan, Tawi-Tawi. Pagdating sa peace and order, it's Cotabato City and voters in Maguindanao del Sur. Very important. Number 2, dito sa Cotabato, number 1 sa Cotabato is peace and order. Number 1 din sa Maguindanao del Sur is peace and order. And then, sa Tawi-Tawi and Cotabato City, number 2, kasunod niyan would be education and scholarship. As important issue, single most important issue sa mga voters natin. Okay. So pag sinabing yung pangkabuhayan, kasi livelihood is generic term. So kasama na dyan yung livelihood sa pangingisda, livelihood sa pagsasaka, sa pag-aalaga ng mga hayop, yung urban na livelihood, yung mga pagtitinda, paglalako, yung mix, kung ano pwedeng pagkakitaan, or yung mga seasonal, panahon ng mga prutas, and so yun yung mga ginagawa nila. So generic, although yung term na livelihood, sa study namin, walang disaggregation pababa. So parang, anong klaseng livelihood, sir? Wala po. Yan lang ang sinabi, ang meron kaming data. Hanggang dyan lang. Okay? Sige. Next slide po. Next slide. In terms of demographics, yan. In terms of demographics, additional information lang. May mga, dyan sa slide na yan, makikita natin yung response nila to the single most important issue across gender, religion, education, and ethnicity. Halimbawa, pag titingnan mo siya sa among highly educated, importante sa kanila peace and order. Pero po sumusunod pa rin ang livelihood. Pagdating naman sa IP, katulad ng Teduray Lambangian, biglang nabago. Hindi siya sumusunod doon sa pattern na livelihood, peace and order, good job, mga scholarship. Ang sa kanya ay infrastructure and public works. So in a way, reflect yung reality nila, priority nila in many of these IP communities. Sa Maguindanao naman, among Maguindanaons, it's the peace and order that is very important to them, single most important issue. And then you have, in terms of ethnicity, it is livelihood. That's very important. Yung women issue, hindi pumasok. Sa next slide, pakita natin. Ito yung parang consistent mga advocacy about women, about rule of law, about fighting violent extremism, about preparedness to disaster. Hindi ho yan pumasok sa top. Na-mention, pero list yan. Oo. So parang makikita mo dito, subsistence level ang priority, subsistence ang priority ng ating mga likely voters. Sige, next po. So tinanong din natin sila, kanina tinanong natin awareness about political party. So, and then ano yung mga issue close to heart, okay, among our likely voters. Ito naman, tinanong natin, kung buboto kayo sa isang political party, ano yung rason? Bakit nyo sila iboboto? Okay? So, makita nyo, dyan, so overall ito, overall, 30.7, so that's about, that's mga 3 out of 10 saying na yung party platform importante sa kanila. Meron naman nagsasabi, sunod niyan, 27, yung tulong ng party sa akin, sa amin, sa pamilya ko. Yun ang importante sa amin. Meron ding mga voters na nagsabi, yung importante, yung partido na yan ay in-endorse ng aming leader, local government leaders. Meron din nagsabi na yung party na yan, hindi lang choice, personal choice, kundi choice yan ng aming pamilya, choice yan ng aming kaibigan. Oo. And then, meron din nagsabi na Importante na yung party na yan, pareho kami ng relihiyon. And then least na mention, yung party na yan is a choice of traditional and tribal leaders. Least yun. Hindi siya masyado na mention. So, kung ano yung mag-i-influence sa ating mga voters, no, para iboto ang particular party, ito yung mga rason overall. Ngayon, disaggregate natin. Ang sunod na slide, makikita natin ay geographic. Religion, having same religion is important sa Lanao del Sur. That's 4 out of 10 respondents in Lanao del Sur. Yung partido na pipiliin nila ay yun din ang choice ng kanilang pamilya at ng kanilang mga kaibigan. Importante yan sa Sulu. 3 out of 10 sa Sulu. Pagdating naman sa, in-endorse siya ng aming leader, very important. Yan ang sinabi ng 6 out of 10 respondents in Basilan. Pagdating naman sa, importante sa amin yung plataforma at saka yung action, plano ng partido. Yan ang sinasabing importante ayon sa mga likely voters from Maguindanao del Norte and del Sur, 5 out of 10 respondents, at Cotabato City. 5 out of 10 respondents in Cotabato City, Maguindanao del Norte, Maguindanao del Sur, said na yung party platform at saka yung ano yung plano ng partido, yun ang magmamatter sa kanila. And then pagdating naman sa Tawi-Tawi at saka sa SGA, yung reason na para iboto nila yung isang party, kung ano yung maibigay na tulong ng party sa kanila at sa kanilang pamilya. So yun ang nagmarka sa Tawi-Tawi at saka SGA. Sige, next slide po. Ngayon, marami yon, maraming mga concerns. So tinanong natin, single most important reason that will move you to, kasi yung isa nag-enumerate. Ito ngayon, tinanong natin doon sa enumerate nyo, alin dyan ang mag-move na magsiguradong iboboto nyo na ang isang party. So sabi nila, 22.1% overall po yan, yung party platform at plano. And then yung endorsed by the local leaders. And then finally, yung tulong na maibibigay niya ng party doon sa voter at sa kanyang pamilya. So yan yung top 3. Single most important reason na iboboto nila yung party. This is overall. And then yung list, yung nasa baba, party is endorsed by national government leaders. Very least. At saka yung party is a choice of traditional and tribal leader. It's mababa ang influence nun. Okay? So next slide, i-disaggregate naman natin by province. Okay? So, ano yung single most important reason to vote for a political party sa mga probinsya? Na-mention na natin kanina, Lanao del Sur, para sa kanya yung relihiyon. Pagmamatter. Para sa Sulu, yung in-endorse siya ng local government leaders. Para sa Maguindanao at saka Maguindanao Sur and Maguindanao Norte and Cotabato City, yung sinabi natin kanina, party platform. Very important para sa mga voters. And then yung Basilan, endorsed by leaders. So Sulu and Basilan, pareho sila. Importante sa kanila yung in-endorse ng ang partido na iboboto nila ay ini-endorse ng kanilang local leaders. And then sa special geographic area, very important sa kanila, at saka yung sa Tawi-Tawi, itong dalawa, yung tulong na makukuha nila sa party. Okay? Yung tulong na makukuha nila sa party para sa kanila, sa sarili nila, at sa kanilang mga pamilya. Sige, next. Ngayon, tingnan natin yung sinasabing, yun yung findings natin. So, in general, let me just summarize yung findings natin. Let me just summarize. Ang tinanong po natin sa ating mga respondents, yung electoral knowledge. That's number 1. Number 2 and number 3, information sources on the election. At saka yung information sources tungkol sa political party. Then tinanong natin sila, ano yung mga issues mag-resonate sa kanila at ano yung single most important reason para iboto nila yung party. So both yung mga issues associated with party politics at single most important issue. So yun yung kinover ng ating survey. So ano ito? Anong opportunities ang available para dito? Anong implication? Tiningnan po natin yung opportunities na yan in terms of anong implication nito para sa government agencies, para sa political parties, sa CSOs, development agencies. Okay? Given na, ang ano dito is what can be done between today and election period and election day. Anong pwedeng gawin? Unang slide, yung government agency tulad ng COMELEC, kailangan mag-double effort sila doon sa kanilang electoral education and information campaign. Kasi bagong sistema ang susuungin ng ating voters sa regional level. Pagboto ng regional party, hindi bago sa atin kasi may party list tayo sa national, pero iba naman ang feature ng ating regional party. Pangalawa, yung parliamentary district. Okay? Parliamentary district. Ibang feature ito, meron tayong legislative district dati para sa RLA. 3 ang ibinoboto, pero ngayon, 1 na lang. So this kind of nuances ay dapat maintindihan ng ating mga voters. At yung susunod na magiging leader ng BARM ay hindi directly iboboto ng leaders. So dapat alam yon ng ating mga voters na ang boboto para sa susunod na leader ay yung parliament. Kasi ito yung feature ng bagong system natin. So merong siyang aura of novelty, kaya mababa ang kaalaman. Okay? So dapat mag-double effort ang COMELEC at magtulong yung ibang mga government agencies. Kaya meron tayong disaggregation ng data according to gender. Kasi lumalabas, mas marami ang hindi nakakaalam sa kababaihan. So pwedeng pumasok ang Bangsamoro Women's Commission. Maraming boboto ng mga bata. So kaya pwede pumasok ang Bangsamoro Youth Commission. Mga ganon. And then, importante na mobilize yung social media. Kasi ang bulk ng ating voters ay younger. And then nakita natin yung influence ng social media. So, kailangan i-maximize yun para magamit natin. So, social media, internet, and radyo. In certain areas like Cotabato City where radyo continue to be influential, dapat pag-isipan nila. The survey now tells you saan mo ilalagay ang resources mo at saka effort mo. Saan ako magra-radyo? Saan ako magso-social media? Saan ako mag-house to house na importante yung influence ng local leaders? Yan ang opportunity available. Okay? Sige, next. Meron ding opportunity para sa political parties kasi may disaggregation na tayo. So, sino ngayon ang ita-target mo? Okay? Sino ngayon ang ita-target mo based on the disaggregation, based on gender? So, since maraming hindi nakakaalam, among kababaihan, yun ang ita-target mo, the women voters mo. Yung in terms of, halimbawa, low income, ano ang message mo for low income? Okay? Iba rin. So, targeted messaging lumalabas dito for political parties. Ang keyword dyan is customize their message according to locality, ethnicity, age, gender, religion, and other demographic segments. And then yung focus on, kasi ang influence, ang source ng information ay family and friends. So pag-isipan, paano ka makafocus on family and friends? Paano mo makuha yung, ano pa yung, sabi natin, family and friends, local government, para maging conduit sa pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman tungkol sa upcoming election. Okay, next slide please. Ito naman yung pwede mo na ngayon ma-hone based sa information ng survey na to. Ano ba yung importanteng slogan? So kung ito yung slogan mo, halimbawa, isang common theme na makikita natin sa mga political parties, sinasabi nila inclusion. So how do you now tailor the inclusion message to livelihood? Kasi livelihood ang number 1 eh. Hindi lumabas yung inclusion. Pero sa mga stated previous mo, inclusion is your key. So paano mo ngayon i-play up yung inclusion mo towards livelihood? So yun yung hone your slogan, platform, and action plans to appeal to the largest number of likely voters, considering what issues are most important to them. So lalabas din dyan, given na very short yung election period, malaki yung population na i-cover, meron tayong rural, urban diversity, mga ganon, importante lumalabas for political parties yung strategic alliance. Okay? Kasi yung messaging mo, iba yung messaging mo sa region, iba yung messaging mo sa probinsya na driven by different ethnicities. Kasi halimbawa, yung isang probinsya sa island, kung ang message mo is a language foreign to them, you cannot get inroads. Ganon din sa island, ganon din sa mainland. So, importante yung strategic alliance, including yung mobilization, pag-develop ng slogan, all that kind of stuff to gain voters, no, for your party. Sige, next slide natin. Ito naman yung development agencies and CSOs. So dapat makipagtulungan sila or dapat ang COMELEC mag-mobilize sa mga CSOs, lalo na yung mga nasa iba't ibang probinsya. Create a network of CSOs to help you with the information and education campaign. Especially, ipaintindi sa ating voters, lalo na yung mga new voters na wala talagang experience at marami sila, malaki yung segment na yon, kung ano ba talaga ang feature ng ating regional parliamentary system. Okay? Yan. And then, basically, for development workers and community and civil society organizations, yung priority needs ng mga voters natin, you can use that to craft ngayon your programs. Kasi lumalabas, ito yung priorities ng mga voters natin or yung constituents natin sa region. And I think with that, we're done with the initial or first regional survey about our preparedness, no, for the 2025 regional elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Sir Noor, for that very comprehensive presentation ng result ng IAG research. By the way, I would just like to reiterate na yung IAG research po, yung gumawa nung nagkandak ng ating survey, is based in Manila, an affiliate of the Institute for Autonomy and Governance based here in Cotabato City. Okay, so we are done with the presentation. Proceed na tayo, sir, sa Q&A. Would you like, mag-break muna tayo ng 15 minutes? Pwede nang working. Okay. Gusto na rin, sir, magsagot ng mga tanong. Okay. So, the table is now open for questions. Kung ano yung mga gusto nating itanong, ano yung concerns ninyo as media, as academe, in relation to the results of the survey. Jace, do we have a microphone? So walang stand. So Jace, sir, will be the microphone stand. yung lalaki nakaputi ho dito ng polo, siya ho yung ating microphone stand. Anybody who would like to throw a question to Sir Noor, you kindly just state your name and your affiliation, from what school or from what media platform, and then you throw the question. Sino ha ang gustong unang magbigay or magtapon ng tanong? Yes, sir! Your name and affiliation, sir, please.
I'm Roger Egas, Layang Katutubo, Program Host over the XMS at BTC. Thank you, Sir Noor. Alam din natin, Sir Noor ay matagal kong partner sa community, no? In terms of education, IEC sa mga mayroon ako nasilip doon na may kakulangan tayo sa alam natin na ang ating lipunan ay mayroon tayong 14 basic sector, no? Nandiyan yung mga farmers,
QR.
folks, women, youth, siyempre mga NGOs. Parang hindi masyado nakikita natin. Although tama yung ano, pero general, no? Ang kuha natin kasi pag down tayo sa community, ang tinatarget natin, community leaders, yun lang, tinatanong, women's. Pero yun, baka pwede natin ma-enhance yung 14 sectors. Mayroon ba silang kaalaman? No? Parang isa-isahin natin eh. Kasi pag general, medyo ano. Pero pag 14 sectors, doon natin makikita na ano ba talagang focus ng farmers, Mr. Fox, anong pangangailangan. Baka, Sir Nor, baka pwede makita natin yun. Focus na sa 14 sectors ng ating lipunan, including church, siyempre.
Sige, salamat sa suggestion, sir. Kasi ito yung unang take ng IAG research pagdating sa social research. No? So first, ito. So kaya nung sinabi sa akin na ready na yung first, sabi ko maganda yan kung i-feed natin, i-share natin sa community kasi over time, it will allow us to improve yung ating methodology. Kasi sa methodology, pwede naman yan makapture. Sa ngayon, ang capture natin, generic income bracket lang. So, hindi masyado yung halimbawa, kung ano yung trabaho mo ngayon, ikaw ba ay, or how do you identify yourself in terms of yung vulnerable sectors natin. Ikaw ba'y kababaihan, kabataan, mga ganon. Meron in part na capture tayo, gender, male, female. Merong in part yung ethnicity, pero yung halimbawa farmers, fisher folks, mga ganon. Mukhang hindi pa na hindi pa. But it's a good reminder for the team na to explore yung the 14 sectors and to see kung may research value siya. Makakatulong siya para maintindihan natin ito. But I'm not sure yung ang alam natin yung process, but I'm not sure about yung yung ability to adjust kasi small team lang ito small team lang siya. So and then bulky rin yung kahit yung ganito lang simultaneous na lahat ng probinsya. Tapos ito by yung pinaliwanag ni Ma'am na naka-tablet ito. So may dalang tablet para lang, and then nagbahay-bahay ito. Kasi nga random ito, hindi pinipili kung sino yung respondents. Oo, random ito. So merong procedure na dapat sundin. So bulky na yung data. So kailangan din pag-isipan kung makaya ba nila yung additional information i-process at i-integrate sa system nila. Salamat sir sa reminder.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Attorney Randolph?
Randolph Contilla po from Notre Dame University Legal Aid. Unang-una, nais kong magpasalamat sa comprehensive na presentation. At masasabi kong nakakabahala habang kinapakinggan ko si Professor Nur kanina pag na-imagine ko yung mga background music yung talagang kasi parang tragic yung ganitong yung information na nalaman natin ngayon thanks to the research. So, there are two things. First, some comments siguro on the part of our own organizations sa academy. Rest assured that because of this information that we obtain justice yung mga projects, research projects at saka mga other projects namin will be focused on voters education, especially sa NDB. The second thing is a question kung ang IAG ba meron pang mga future projects to address these problems at kung paano kami makatulong o makaparticipate dito.
Okay, salamat, attorney. As to likely possibilities na meron pang susunod na mga, yes, IAG will always have projects about electoral, political education. Sa programs, marami yan sila. But as to research, sa ngayon, wala pang definite plans, but we're always open to possibilities ng further research about this. Nasa table pa siya for discussion. And kung sakaling bang magkakaroon ng kasunod ito, I promise you would know kasi you will be invited again in another conference such as this. Okay.
Doon sa unang impression ni attorney, kami rin sa research, immediately nung nakita namin yung data, parang okay. Pero when we took time to reflect, one realization is, kasi first time, bago. Remember, ang Bangsamoro Organic Law ay na-approve bago, diba, nag-plebiscite tayo. So malaman siya. So kailangan ipaliwanag mo yung laman nun. Ang maganda dito, hindi na siya tulad ng plebiscite. Yung plebiscite na yon, ipaliwanag mo yung buong batas. Ito ngayon, ipaliwanag mo na lang yung particular sa election system natin. So, may opportunity, natuwa ako nung sabi ni ma'am, hindi lang media ang invite natin, pati academe. Kasi pwedeng mag-assembly ang academe, student assembly for voters literacy, voters education. So pwede silang, maraming pwedeng imbitahan na nasa, kung hindi available sa, like una, yung Bangsamoro Electoral Office. Kung busy sila, pwedeng officials, halimbawa nasa BTA na who was involved in crafting the Bangsamoro Election Code para ipaliwanag. Kasi dalawang levels po ng information ang kailangan ipaliwanag. Yung isa, yung mode ng pagboto. Kasi mayroon kang iboboto regional party. So magtatanong ang tao, ano bang pinag-iba ng regional party at saka yung party list sa national? Pangalawa, magiging opportunity siya para ipaliwanag natin ano naman ang pinag-iba ng parliamentary district at saka yung previous na legislative district. Kasi magtatanong din sila, by the way, boboto pa tayo ng congressional representative. So meron tayong tatlo. So kailangan may paliwanag sa ating mga, especially new voters, at yung new voters na yan ay most probably yung mga late, halimbawa, kasi you have to be 18. So most probably nasa college yan. Kaya importante na so magamit. Even if sabi niya, ang mga 17 pa ito, 16, pwede po yan kasi that means binibigyan mo sila ng tamang informasyon. And therefore, they can now talk also with confidence and share it with their friends and their families. I-reverse mo. Siya yung ngayon ang magsishare rather than yung kanyang pamilya, mga kaibigan na magsishare. Pero you need to invite a good resource person to explain yun siya. Tapos, maliban doon, meron pa tayo yung ipapaliwanag na so may iboboto by party, may iboboto sa district. Meron tayo sectoral na representatives. So dapat maintindihan nila yon, ano yon, iboboto ba namin yon o may nomination yon, so pagpapaliwanag din yan. And then, meron din sinasabi which is a unique feature ng ating parliamentary system, which is different from the Westminster system. And ang mga progressive na parliamentary system, may feature siya ng proportional representation system. Okay? Proportional representation. Ang ibig sabihin, pag natali na ang lahat ng boto, i-adjust yun by percentage para makita ilan ang mapupunta sa lahat ng, kumbaga walang mawawalan doon sa mga party. So kayo din, kailangan din siya ipaliwanag. And finally, ipaliwanag din, bakit sir, ang sabi, si ano na daw, ang candidate nila, chief minister. Tapos hinanap na, kung darating sa election, too late na. Iboboto ba namin siya bilang chief minister? Yun, ipaliwanag na walang direct voting for chief minister. Pero kung gusto mong ma-influensyahan na kung sino yung magiging chief minister, bantayan mo yung party. Bantayan mo kung sino ang iboboto mo sa parliamentary district. So I think the academe is a good platform for education and to combat din yung mga misinformation, disinformation sa social media. Provided you get a good resource person. So yun ang mga nakikita ko. Bangsamoro Electoral Code, Electoral Office, BEO, yung nasa BTA, para ipaliwanag na kung ano yung new feature. Novelty eh. Lahat naman tayo ganun, basta bago, naninibago. Oo. Pero once maano natin ito, hindi naman ito complicated na system. Kailangan lang yung time for knowledge dissemination and then yung response to yung mga queries. Oo. Yung mga doubts, haka-haka, yung platform na yun. The academe, aside from the media, are two important platforms for the spread of information and to counter misinformation and disinformation about the system. Salamat.
Okay. Salamat, Sir Nur. Yes, Ma'am Eva from Mindanao Cross.
I'd like to mention 2 points in the presentation. The first one is, first roll lang ito sa atin, kaya medyo confusing pa. Pero, di ba, yung mga positive na mga items is separate from the negatives. Like, you have the number of women who do not know anything about, and then yung sa sunod na presentation, number of women who know about it. So medyo, if you're processing the data, medyo confusing at the start. Pero first scroll lang kasi ito eh. Now, the second point I would like to bring up is, as a representative of the media na ako ngayon yung academe. As a representative of the media, yung very important, yung mga issues that you were able to bring out, especially yung mga influencers on what they know about the political parties, or who are the ones who would be close to them, to tell them about the political parties. Yung mga ganyan, ang hirap dito sa farm. Kasi iba-iba ang mga groups. Maguindanao, medyo pareho yung Maguindanao Sur, Maguindanao Norte, at Cotabato City. But when you shift to, medyo yung Iranon nga nawala dun sa Maguindanao eh. When they should be allied with the Maguindanaoans, no? But when you talk about the islands, iba na naman yung kanilang pananaw, no? Yung most influential for them is the LGUs. Why in the Maguindanao? In Maguindanao friends and families. So, iba-iba ba? Mahirap din yung process, no? When you are coming up with a program. Ano ba? Are we going to separate them by the people who influence them sa media ito? Are we going to select the kind of groups who will be able to influence the people on what political parties are? So, pwede na kayo gawin yun? Mga pa naman siguro.
Ang nakikita ko, thank you Ma'am Eva sa comment on yung positive and negative. We will take that comment as one of our inputs for improvements sa technical presentation. And then doon sa yung itong mga findings, I think parang magkaroon talaga tayo ng inroad, maintindihan. Pwede ito i-serialize. Pwede mong, for example, if you are an anchor, may program ka, pwede yung halimbawa, today you talk about the first finding, and then tomorrow you talk about another finding. And then ganun siya. So i-spread out mo yan siya into 6 days para maintindihan yung bawat. And then, meron na, kaya nga pinalabas namin yung merong ethnicity and geographic disaggregation. Para, for example, dito sa Maguindanao, you can take that information, yung Maguindanao, Norte, Sur, and Cotabato, NSGA. Kasi important dito sa inyo. Pero the media, halimbawa doon sa Basulta, baka yung interest nila, yung kanilang particular area rin lang. So yun ang unang ipapaliwanag rather than yung kabuuan. Maybe yun yung sinasabi namin na tailor, customize. Doon ka magsimula. So, doon sa area where you are operating. So, mas maintindihan. Kasi pag halimbawa, iba yung local findings at saka yung sa region, parang mahirap pag ikaw mismo magpapaliwanag ka sa bakit na iba yung region sa ano. Pero kung nagsimula ka, then you can say, align ba ito sa overall sa region or unique ito overall doon sa regional findings. Pwede gano'n. So ang keywords natin dito, pwede siya i-serialize para mas madaling maintindihan. Pwedeng i-customize, i-tailor sa particular area. Kasi yung ano mo, depende sa, halimbawa kung ikaw ay radyo, hanggang saan ba ang coverage ng radyo mo. So baka mas importante, yun muna yung coverage mo, doon muna tutukan. Huwag mo na i-ano yung sa iba. Unless mag-show sila ng interest, may phone-in question. Sabi niya, sir, ako po, interesado po ako, nandito na ako sa Cotabato, pero taga-island po ako. Ano ho ba yung findings? Then maybe that can be an interest. But basically, kung ano yung geographic area mo, doon ka magsimula. Yun ang sabi namin, customize, localize ang intervention. Salamat.
Okay. Yes. Jace, assist. Sir.
Thank you. Good morning. I am Edwin Fernandez of the Mindanao Cross and the Philippine Daily Inquirer. I'm glad that you came up with this study because I am afraid it will happen again. The uninformed voters will be used by our abusive politicians. So, my question would be number one, sir, na-inform na po ba ang COMELEC? COMELEC kasi palagi napapanggit sa report, and I write a story about this. At saka BYC, na-inform na po ba sila? Ano ang kanilang reaksyon? At kung na-inform na rin po ba yung pong mga political parties? Dahil alam ko mahalaga ito para sa kanilang future planning. So, without prejudice sa mga partido politikal, na-inform na po ba sila? Second, if I may, can we say that this electoral system in BARM is free from cheating? You may or you may not answer. Thank you.
We share your concern doon sa uninformed voters. And that's why I think may value yung research. Kasi maaga natin maintindihan ang sitwasyon. So hindi lang yung uninformed in what sense, ano ba ang hindi nila alam. At sino ba doon sa segment ng voters, sino ba ang mababa ang kaalaman. Yun yung meron tayo dito. Yung pangalawa sa na-inform ba, actually sir, ito yung first media presentation. So I would assume, ang pagkaintindi ko, yung IAG research sa Manila will also do presentation with, especially those who were named in the report. Meron ganun. In fact, I took note doon sa yung report namin kasi, nakalagay June, pero sabi ni ma'am, nag-end kami ng May. Tapos by June 3, yung COMELEC gumawa na ng isang activity with Participate PH, yung BARM Multi-Party Democracy Summit. Gumawa na ng ganun. So that's a good direction na nagsisimula na yung creating awareness about the feature ng regional election system natin. Pagdating sa political parties, we did not name them in particular. So if through the media, some of the political parties would show interest, then they can contact IAG Research if they're interested. Kasi meron kaming printed na report that will be made available to you. So if they want to have interaction with the team at ipaliwanag, kung interested, pwede naman yun. Pero ano sila sa IAG Research. And I think somewhere there, merong contact details sa baba. Kasi yan po yung in charge, not the Institute for Autonomy dito sa Cotabato.
Thank you. So, tutukan ko lang, yes, ito po yung first presentation. Maswerte kayo unang nakarinig at nakakita ng ating survey results. Merong mga succeeding presentations sa Manila at yung ating mga libro, yung result ng survey is also being circulated in Manila. at saka sa mga government agencies dito sa Region 12. Soft copy has been launched online noong June 20 pa. So, na-circulate na siya online. Pero yung printed copy, parang last week lang lumabas. Pero last week pa, meron ng circulation sa national level offices, especially COMELEC, number 1 yun sa aming list ng padadalhan, both dito sa regional level at saka sa national level. Yes, next, uunahin natin from NDU, si Sir Apple Valenzoy, then followed by NDM. Okay. Yes. Sir Paul?
Good morning po, all from MDU. Yung survey result, eye-opener din ito sa amin sa academe, ano? Kasi sa sources of information, wala man lang nabanggit doon na yung information ang galing sa school, no? And I do not know if that is the reason also dito sa material ninyo, yung sa opportunities. Hindi na mention yung academe, but yung COMELEC, government, civil society orgs, and ganon. Wala talaga yung academe, but dito sa table namin with Sir Jojo, kasi siya yung NSTP coordinator, nagbe-brainstorm na din kami kung ano yung pwedeng gawin ng university. I just do not know bakit talaga hindi lumabas as one of the sources of information yung academe, no, nanggaling sa school. Posible kaya na dahil sa parang yung malaking chunk din ng respondents ay hindi dumaan sa formal schooling, or baka it's too early na tutukan ito ng mga administrators ng bawat school na ma-orient yung kanilang mga students. Kasi, for instance, ngayong school year, ang opening ng new academic year ay sa August pa. And actually, kami sa NSTP, mga faculty advisors, na-identify na namin yan na isa sa magiging major activities namin ay yung pag-orient. Yun na lang, yung paglansay na lang kung ano ba ang magiging proseso. But yun talaga, no? Bakit hindi lumabas yung academe doon? So parang it's really an opportunity, an eye-opener for all of the representatives from the academe na kinakailangan mag-brainstorm na tayo kung anong gagawin para for this upcoming election. Thank you po. Comment na.
Would you like to respond to the comment of Sir Paul?
I think yung na-capture natin is tinanong natin sila ano yung kanilang highest educational attainment. Pero wala tayong information, disaggregation, kung sino yung currently nag-aaral pa at yung hindi na nag-aaral. Para ma-determine natin yung responses na ito, nasa academe pa, nasa college pa sila, so pwede silang andun. Wala tayong ganong information. But that's something to reflect again, to improve our disaggregation methodology.
Yes, sir.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Ralph Darren Santilla from Mindanao State University, Maguindanao Political Science Department. So, my concern or my question is about the single most important issue for likely voters. So, are we safe, sir, in relation to the single most important issue to vote for a political party? Is it safe to say that, of course, this data or this research is also beneficial to the politicians, not just for the voters. Is it safe to say that a political party should invest more on, let's say, livelihood projects in their platforms or the way they present their platforms to the voter? If they will say that livelihood is their major concern, is it safe to say that there is a probability that they will win the election? Sir. And another thing is, of course, yung ating po mga, of course, this is a quantitative research, no? Perhaps we need more narratives, no? So that ma-reflect yung mga other lived realities in societies. Kasi meron na pong prepared categories dito, for example, sa questionnaire po. So single most important reason to vote for a political party, the categories here, or the areas here are, of course, what may be deemed ideal or necessary or legal in our society. But meron pa tayong mga ibang factors that influence voting behavior. Let's say vote buying, that still subsists despite of the new political entity. Meron pa din yung problems of vote buying, and that could be one of the most influential factor that could affect voting choice or preference behavior. Yun lang, sir.
Salamat sir, at pinadali mo yung pagpapaliwanag na yung winning an election at saka yung behavior ng ating voters ay multi-factor siya, multifactorial or multifaceted siya. So hindi lang yung sinabi dito na a single most important livelihood. So kung mag-adjust kami ng livelihood, sigurado na kami. I think it's too much simplification ng mga ganun, lalo na yung mga nasa academia na gumagawa ng research. Na there's more to our election than just ano yung agenda. Kaya pinapakita namin yung mga different elements. Kasi influential ba ang ethnicity? Influential ba yung education? Education ba yung income? Influential ba yung age group siya? Yung mas mabata at saka yung medyo older? Ano pa yung mga kinonsider natin? So obviously, for the team, ito yung initial salvo. So, binabalance namin yung the passion to be able to capture at saka yung bago ito pa lang yung ginagawa natin. But yung tama kayo sir na yung halimbawa marami pa siyang kailangan ayusin kasi nga multifaceted siya. So kailangan maraming ayusin yung halimbawa yung sinasabi ninyo about mga issues associated also with the election like vote buying. So yun yung mga kailangan pa kasi ano rin from the point of view ng research, paano mo siya i-capture, paano mo siya tatanungin, mga ganon. So eventually, as we move forward, we should be able to nuance that yung mga ganong factors. How fast, hindi ko alam. Kasi as a team, inaano rin tinitingnan din kung how much yung kaya ng database. Given limited time, for example ito, ginawa siya in 2 months time. And then this is across. And then ilang libo yon. Ngayon, for consistency, maybe pag bumalik ka, kailangan mo balikan yon. Yung mga respondents na yun para makita mo over time, nagbago ba ang kanilang, remember for example, nung gawin namin ito, paparegister pa lang yung mga parties. Ngayon, may nakaregister na. So magbago ba yung kanilang pananaw? Kasi the parties will now be more active in introducing themselves, in introducing it, in reaching out to their mga likely voters. So pwedeng makita ng ganon. So mahaba pa yung to improve. But I think the confidence is we want to make sure yung reliability at saka integrity ng research. Doon magsisimula siya. Then we can add additional information as we move forward. So this is going to be exciting from the point of view na yung mga nasa academe. Kasi unique nga ito na meron tayong ganito. Probably this is the first in BARC. This is the first in BARC. And so yung ang motivation namin, natutuwa kami na raise ni Sir kanina, yung halimbawa yung uninformed voters. Kaya maaga pa, naglabas na. Para nang sa ganon, we can prepare well. And then we will, in the end, pag dumating tayo sa May 2025 election, we have well-informed voters. And then, well, it's up to the political parties to influence kung kanino boboto yung mga voters. But at least, alam ng voters ang basic ng electoral system.
Yes. Follow-up question, sir?
Ask ko lang po sir kung in your survey po ba, meron po ba ng question na yung respondent niyo po ay member ng political party?
Wala pa. Well, mukhang wala kami. Hindi pa namin tinanong. Hindi pa.
Kasi it may seem apparent, sir, that voters are also members of the political party
Yes.
and naging mechanism na yun siya.
In-note namin yan, sir. Baka
Okay.
importante.
Yung selection, yung mapping ng respondents, very random. Randomly selected talaga, regardless kung may affiliation sila or wala. And at that time, ginawa kasi ito siya noong April 29 to May 14. So a period of 16 days lang talaga. Para siyang quick survey. At that time, nag-membership base pa lang yung political parties. Wala pa silang gaanong recruitment. Meron lang silang mga, kasi wala pa namang registration noon. Political parties are just doing some kind of parang mga meeting-meeting lang. Wala pa talagang recruitment. So wala kaming sinabing exclusion ang only inclusion criteria na ginawa namin is likely voter ka. Meaning to say, you are a registered voter in your barangay of residence. You have the intention to vote. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng, parang unfair naman na ika-capture natin yung sagot ng mga walang planong bumoto in 2025. So yun yung una namin tinanong. Do you have an intention to vote in 2025? Yes, okay, pasok ka. Registered ka ba sa barangay na to? Yes, okay, so pasok ka. Kung ikaw ay hindi voter, like hindi ka naka-register or turning 18 ka pa lang, and you have the intention to vote, that is not enough. Dapat, do you have the intention to register to vote in your barangay of residence? So yun lang yung una naming tinanong. But okay yun, we'll pick that up kasi baka magbabago nga talaga yung magiging result kung may mga future. Kasi ito yung academic institutions, meron kayong mga research arm. Maganda rin yun na titignan siguro sa disaggregation kung the fraction of the respondents na may affiliation sa political party. Okay, thank you, sir. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Bilang media practitioner po Baymira Abo from TFKBSI News, farm correspondent. Bilang media practitioner po dito sa farm is hindi natin maiwasan na isa po tayo sa mag-o-observe ng election day. So meron po bang programa ang IAG sa aming mga media for our security?
May isa pa.
Ang pangalawang question ko po is, ano po ang opinion ninyo na sa ngayon po ay meron na pong advance na nagpapakilala na tatakbo sa election, no, which is hindi pa panahon para magpakilala. And then, may ilan din po na kumukuha ng mga tao sa ibang municipality or barangay para akitin or doon magparehistro sa ibang lugar or municipality para doon sila magboto. Ano pong opinion niyo po dito? So, maraming salamat.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir Noor, any
Salamat
comment?
sa mga tanong, ma'am, pero mukhang kailangan ibitahin natin ng COMELEC at itanong natin sila. Yan ang ano niyan, lalo na yung mga security. But I guess, yung concern po ninyo, paano natin i-capture doon sa ating voter education and voter literacy yung mga pagpapaliwanag na ang pagboto ay isang sacred right. It's a right na you ought to exercise properly. Yung boto mo ay kinabukasan mo. So when we do the voters education, papaliwanag ng maigi yung mga ganun. Tapos kung sino man yung imbitahin natin mga resource person, ipaliwanag na ang pagboto ay dapat ginagawa in a very civil way. I think kahit although meron tayong mga reported na election-related violence, tayo, nasa media, nasa academe, I think ang kailangan natin i-reiterate yung nararapat na norm for voting, which is dapat civilized tayo, civil tayo sa pagboto, dapat out of free will. So yun ang dapat natin i-emphasize. Yung message na yun should be out there. And hopefully yung sabi nga ni Ma'am Eva, na positive messaging. Kasi kung wala kang positive messaging, wala kang ma-counter doon. Kasi meron tayong stereotype na paniniwala pag election na naman, karahasan na naman yan, pag gano'n, no? Kasi yun ang naging experience natin. Pero kailangan natin ipaliwanag, hindi yun norm. Yun ang exemption. Ang karahasan is an exemption. The norm is, you can vote freely, you can express your own will, at makakapture yung will mo na yun. Kasi kaya tayo bumoboto, kaya importante ang eleksyon. Kasi this is to capture the will of the people. At yun ay mahalaga. At dapat natin i-reiterate yun when we do the voters education. So ang voters education, hindi lang ipapaliwanag ano yung bago sa sistema. Kung hindi, ano ang kahalagaan ng boto, lalo na para sa kinabukasan natin.
Thank you. Tungkol sa yung may tanong kayo kung may programa ba ang IAG sa security ng media in covering the election. IAG is actually a policy center. What we want to influence are policy decisions, policy making. Parang kami yata kailangan din ng security of the record. Oo. Pero we do not, siguro kailangan natin mag-tie up. Marami namang mga agencies, we can always tie up with the security, the security sector when you do that. And I guess COMELEC naman, hindi naman, they never fell short of securing election watchdogs. Okay. Yes, sir. I see a hand. Your name and affiliation, sir, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I'm Jay Noble of Brigada News FM, diba? Ma'am, tinitignan ko po dito sa table 10, especially dito sa knowledge of regional parliament election. No formal schooling. Kung titignan mo, talagang cum laude yung score sa no knowledge at all. So after this research, sir, and also tutulong kami sa Media Academy, what are your expected results after this? Gaano ba? Gaano ba kababa? Kasi kung titignan mo, voting system, it's all about 85% ang no formal schooling na walang alam. Seats for political parties, so about 90.9 na pataas. What do you think, sir, after this? What do you expect after this? I mean, thank you.
Easy sa'yo, sir. Well, basically, dalawang mukha. Yung data na yan, lahat naman tayo merong shared aspiration na maging mapayapa at mag-reflect ng tama yung result ng election. So that's our shared aspiration. Yung sinasabi na mababa yung education, ako po ay dating assistant secretary sa DepEd. So kung every time may mga data kami ginagawang research, nanlulumo ako pag may makita ako na no formal education. 21st century na tayo, meron pa rin in our midst na hindi nakapag-aral. So despite of the fact, libre na hanggang tertiary level. Tapos ngayon, dumadami yung mga scholarship opportunities. Bakit meron pa rin tayong mga ganon? Pwede rin natin sabihin, sir, mga senior na yan, hindi na natin pwede balikan. That's why may motivation. Sana yung mga research na ganito, kaya ako nag-i-invest ako sa research. Kasi importante na yung mga policies na ginagawa at policies na ini-influence natin na sana gagawin ng gobyerno ay base sa research para objective, para walang personalan. Kung hindi, ano yung nakikita natin na kabuuan na sitwasyon. Kasi importante sa paggawa ng policy na it is backed by data. And that is why sa IAG, may mga kami on education, may mga research kami on interplay ng autonomy, ng policy, ng education. Kasi gusto namin mag-drive yung point na hindi lang yung kung ano ngayon dahil dyan. Kasi yan, reflection yan ng nag-fail yung policy nung panahon nila. Pero pwede natin magawan. So anong ngayon ang gagawin for the future? Anong gagawin ngayon? Sabi lang, make education accessible. But how do you make education accessible? Kasi kahit sabihin ngayon, katulad niyan sa tertiary level, libre na ang tertiary level. Totoo, libre. Pero hindi libre ang pamasahe. Pero hindi libre yung pagkain. Pero hindi libre yung dormitory. Pero hindi libre yung mga books. Oo, so marami pa rin siya, kailangan pa rin siyang intindihin. And that is why yung research culture ay sana, at I think yung mga nasa academe, kayo rin nasa media, nakita niyo yung kahalagaan ng research at yung gamitin talaga siya. Kasi kung hindi natin gagamitin, ma-miss na naman natin ang another magandang opportunity. Marami na tayong na-miss na maraming opportunity. Ako po ay 52 years old na. Kaya iniisip ko ngayon so ano yung maiiwan ko sa dalawa kong anak? Masama yung society na kinalakihan ko, hindi na yun ang society na kalakihan din ng aking anak. At kumbaga, yung gusto ko, yung more peaceful na siya than before, more inclusive na siya than before, safe para sa kanila, pero at the same time, yung opportunities truly available sa base sa kanilang pangangailangan.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ako rin po ay 53 years old na. Iniisip ko rin kung ano yung... Ano yun sabi niyo, sir? Binibigay ko lang. Ano yung para sa aking dalawang anak? Dalawa rin yung anak niyo, sir? Pero hindi kami mag-asawa nga. Para kami 52 at para kami may dalawang anak, pero hindi ko kami mag-asawa. Anyway, sa ngalan ng result na yan, ang key message or the insight that we really would like to impart is that yung realization na the lower yung level of education, the more likely na wala silang alam sa voting system. Now, ang tanong, hindi naman natin sila pwedeng mag-aral ka muna bago ka bumoto, hindi naman ganon. So what can we do about it? So parang ang message that we are trying to send to COMELEC and government agencies, lahat ng mag-i-intervene, including the academe, is i-contextualize or i-design yung ating information materials na appropriate sa mga mababa ang kaalaman. Pero hindi lang natin dapat itatarget yung mababa ang kaalaman. Kung babalikan nyo, balikan natin joke lang. Kung babalikan nyo yung result, meron ding about 5 of every 10 na nasa higher education na walang alam or very basic lang yung alam about the voting system. So meaning to say, lahat across levels of education, we have to intervene. Only that, to make it more effective, kailangan i-classify natin yung ating information materials. Huwag na yung mga masyadong text-heavy. Kung kailangan natin gumawa ng comics, okay, sige, comics. Kung kailangan natin Tagalogin or use the local dialect, then we do that. Of course, wala na tayong magagawa dun sa marami talaga ang walang format education. Kasi nga, random nga talaga. Malay mo, sa ibang survey, ang natanong nila at random, mas maraming mga higher education, but the fact remains. The message will still be this. Kung gagawa tayo ng information campaign, voters education, we have to contextualize and design appropriately kung ano yung demographics ng ating BARM electorate. At dito papasok yung radio. Mapapansin nyo, number 2, either 1 or 2, the first or the second source of information is the local radio. So, importante, you are armed with the correct information para tama yung inyong i-spread the information. Sa academe, ganun din. You can always invite the COMELEC, IAG, sa inyong voters education, sa mga program. And remember, yung mga anak natin, family and friends, right? Pag may natutunan sila from their teacher, pagbalik nga sa bahay, automatic. They will say, Ma, sabi ng teacher namin, nag-election pala sa ganito, ganyan. Eh, yung nanay naman o yung tatay, ang ganun pala, anak, kinasabi ng teacher ninyo. So, importante. Sorry lang, hindi na-mention yung academe, Sir Paul. Pero palagay ko, hindi lang kayo yung nagtatampo. Kasi when we did the survey, meron din kaming partner na academic institutions. So siguro habang tinatanong nila yun, nasasaktan din sila, bakit wala kami? Hindi kami kasali sa source of information. Oo, pero that's the reality. Kasi nga, siguro tama yun, wake up call sa mga institutions. As we go near the election, ilang months na lang? Ilang months na lang? 11? Barely a year. Papuntang election, marami pa pong magagawa ang media, marami pa pong magagawa ang academe. Ang importante lang, dapat appropriate yung ating materials. Okay? Sige. Any more questions? Wala nang... Yes, sir, from Layang Katutubo, right? Sorry. Manauna pala si ma'am. Then, sunod kayo, sir.
Yes, Assalamualaikum. I'm Carolina Abbas from DXTC 95.9 na radyo natin FM Cotabato City. Tatlo po ang aking katanungan. Sa inyo pong survey findings and insights, ano po ang nakikita niyo sa peace and orders during po sa national and local elections sa mid-2025? Pangalawang katanungan ko po, gaano na po kalawak ang naabot ng inyong enhancing voters education for the 2025 BARM elections? Pangatlo, ano-ano po ang inyong nakikitang mga problema or balakid dito po sa preparing BARM for the 2025 elections? Salamat po.
Salamat. Ma'am, Sir Nur?
Salamat sa tatlong tanong, ma'am. Yung sa peace and order, nakita naman natin, isa yan sa mga issues na ni-raise ng ating mga respondents na malapit sa puso, yung peace and order. Ngayon, may differentiation tayo. Meron yung peace and order na yung mga regular crimes. Meron naman yung violent extremism. So, yung violent extremism, lesion, hindi yun yung concern ng ating mga respondents. Pero yung peace and order, siguro ito yung regular mga crimes, no, na reported ng media. Ito, ni-raise nila as a concern for them. Doon sa tanong na lawak nito, I think gusto natin ipakita dito na yung the effort towards voters education ay hindi responsibilidad ng isang entity. Ito ay dapat magkaisa ang lahat, lalo na sa BARM, dahil tayo lang ang merong unique feature sa susunod na election. Yung all the other regular administrative region, wala silang feature nito. So ang concern ng tungkol sa parliamentary system, yung awareness, which is number 3, ano yung problema, yun yung nakita natin. Yung awareness level ng ating mga likely voters ay mababa tungkol sa bagong feature nito. So pagkaisahan natin, hindi namin tinitingnan na dahil kami yung gumawa ng research, kami lang ang merong ano. Kaya that's why we are sharing. Ang nauna is media because we recognize the power of media, we recognize the power of the academe to spread the information. And at the same time, hindi lang yung sabihin, walang kaalaman. Kaya gusto namin ipakita na yung dulo ng research is opportunities. Asan ang opportunities? Para i-improve natin yung knowledge level. Meron tayong panahon dahil May 2025 pa yung election. So between now and 2025, kailangan marami nang ginagawa to reach out to more voters. So yung mga problema na sinasabing meron na tayong initial na nakikita, kaalaman, yung mga concerns nila, yung awareness nila tungkol sa political system, how political parties should package their priorities, kasi ito yung sinasabi ng mga likely voters natin. Salamat po.
Okay. Kaya siguro sa ngayon, dapat na-realize na natin kung bakit kayo yung unang tinawag, yung mga media, at saka yung academe. Dahil after po nito, may assignment kayo. Ito yung assignment, ito yung responsibility ninyo. Kasi remember, congratulations, kayo ang pinakaunang nakarinig at nakakita nito. Palakpakan niyo po sa ninyo. Pero ito yung assignment. It is not enough for you to go out from here on and spread, 89.1% of the electorate of BARM do not know anything about the voting election. Palpak kayo sa inyong assignment. Dapat, okay, sabihin nyo yun. Majority lacks knowledge about the voting system in 2025. Pero, tawagin nyo ang COMELEC. Please, tawagin nyo ang mga development aid workers. Tawagin nyo yung academe kahit nandito sila. Tawagin nyo yung karamihan ng mga media for COMELEC. Engage sa COMELEC. Baka sabi sa kanila, yan, mababa ang kaalaman. Ang mga babae, call the BYC, call the DWC. Yun po ang assignment, kaya namin kayo tinawag. Kasi nag-iisa lang po yung IAG research, we cannot penetrate all areas. Samantalang kayo, salamat, merong taga-UPI, merong taga-outside of Cotabato City na pumunta dito kasi kayo na yung aming information channel. Okay? Thank you. Yes, the guy from Laya Katutubo.
Meron pa karagdagan.
Ay, Sir Nor, would you like to say more?
Ano lang ma'am, I think dahil nandito yung mga kasamahan natin sa media, kayo yung may powerful capacity para sa kwentong masa, kwentong bayan. So ang pinipresent namin, kahit yung ganito, technical report. So paano natin halimbawa ang challenge ngayon, given your expertise, paano natin sa kanila, ipaliwanag, ano ba yung parliamentary system? Kumbaga, may local term na ba tayo dyan? Kung mahina ang kaalaman tungkol dyan, ano sa Maguindanao ng parliamentary system? Ano sa Maguindanao, hindi naman kailangan pero paano ipaliwanag in the local language? Yan ang power ng media eh. Kasi media ang merong capacity for kwentong bayan, kwentong masa. Oo. So paano natin yan ipaliwanag? Sa level na yan. Kasi, halimbawa, kung sa academia, sinaserve sa mga research, pero tinatawag academic writing. Ganong level. Pero hindi yon layman's. Hindi yon layman's. So ngayon, iba ang audience natin, masa ang audience natin. So paano tayo magkukwentong masa, magkukwentong bayan tungkol dito? So yun yung challenge na kahit kami, as we are reflecting on this, inisip namin paano nga gagawin. And I think the media can respond also to this.
Kaya po importante, you are armed with the correct information. Yes, sir, from Laya Katutubo.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Siguro mukhang magka-problema tayo sa information talaga. Palapit ng eleksyon. Tapos makita natin yung turnout sa community mababa. Kasi problema talaga, hindi natin nasilip din dito yung sa isang community ay mayroon bang kuryente. Sa isang community, malakas bang signal? Aabot ba yung radio sa kanilang lugar? So baka dito tayo, kikita natin na maraming community na wala talagang radio. Although gusto nila makinig, pero hindi rin aabot. So problema natin, paano aabot yung communication from the higher down to the grassroots. So yun baka problema. Ngayon, titingnan din natin, nasilip din natin doon, hindi ko nasilip yung overall population ng BARM. Base sa survey, halimbawa, ito yung population ng BARM, at ito yung tinanong natin. So, baka makita natin ilang percent yung respondent doon sa research. Kaproblema din tayo sa population ngayon. Ang data po ng BARM, hindi tayo sigurado. Ilan ba talagang population ng BARM? Kasi, halimbawa, kami sa IP, pag nagre-research, ang ginagawa, drone. Ang count lang nila ng bahay, 10 bahay, ibig sabihin 10 pamilya. Hindi nila alam yung isang bahay na yan ay 5 pamilya. So magka-problema sa statistic. So ganon. Siguro, mas titingnan natin sa amin, sa abot ng aming makakaya, magtulungan. Siguro ang pinakamalaking role dito yung COMELEC. Dapat mayroon silang ganito eh. Nauna pa yung AI. So, dapat mayroon sila. Problema ang COMELEC. Tinanong mo sa community, alam ba niyo yung electoral code? Anong sagot? Hindi namin alam. So problema yun. Anong laman ng electoral code? Yun pa kayong parliament. So pag mayroon akong tinanong, sabi na, sino mo ang gusto mong mamumuno sa dapat si Chief Minister din, hindi papalitan. So tingnan mo. So ibig sabihin, kaiba na yung pananaw niya doon sa parliament. So, para ganun. tama rin sabi ni Ma'am na dapat right information ay bibigay natin sa kanila. At ano yan, sa isang community, sa isang barangay, mayroong isang consultation hanggang sa abot ang election, yung IDC natin. Dapat magkaroon din ng mag-election. Sabi ni Mr. Sister, dito, mag-election tayo. Ano bang masin ang gagamitin natin? Parehas din ba sa mga ano? Baka bang hindi pa magka-problema yan? So, problema din natin yung vote buying. Sabi ni Sir, may vote buying din talaga. May makikita tayong mga form ngayon gumagalaw. So, sa isang form, sabi niya, pag natapos mo yan, mabayaran kita ng ganito. So, problema yun. So, paano natin maiwasan yung Thank you po.
Salamat, sir. Well, ongoing challenges yan sa election natin. Pero I think moving forward with positive insight, may nakikita tayo na magandang opportunity to disseminate, no? Wider dissemination and conduct of voters education. Unang-una, meron tayong within the bar, merong mga ahensya na may mandato. For example, we identified youth as a critical sector. Meron na tayong Bangsamoro Youth Commission. So that means if the BYC is interested, they can look at yung findings dito and they can come up with voters education targeting youth groups. And ang maganda sa BYC, meron siyang network of youth organizations. Isa yan. Pangalawa, meron naman tayo yung sabi natin, yung mababa ang kalaman among kababaihan. Ang maganda sa BARM, meron ng Bangsamoro Women's Commission. So pwede rin siya mag-tailor ng voters education para sa kababaihan. And then meron tayo of course yung Bangsamoro Electoral Office na siyang pwedeng pasimuno yung mga correct information, basic content about the election process. And then, nandyan din, ang maganda, nandyan, meron na rin tayong Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission na siyang pwedeng ma-involve para ipalaganap yung pananaw na ang pagboto ay karapatan mo and you have to exercise it properly. So maliban doon sa yung sabi natin ano yung feature. Kung hindi yung pagboto ay dapat protektahan mo dahil kinabukasan mo yan, karapatan mo yan. So pwede pumasok ang Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. And then yung sabi nga ni Sir sa IP, may mga kailangan din i-tailor mo siya for IP. Ang maganda sa BARM, meron kayong ministry for Indigenous Peoples Affairs. So, yung findings natin dito, hopefully, will mobilize those institutions to do something about voters' education within their own circle of influence. Kayo yung mas across Kayo yung, for example, dito sa media, kayo yung mas across kasi kayo yung masa. Regardless kung babae yan, lalaki yan, saan sila, basta abot ng radyo nyo. Whereas yung mga institution na yun naman yung tailored. Ito yung kabataan, ito yung kababaihan, ito yung IP. Ito yung magpapaliwanag na ang education is human rights. In fact, pwede pa pumasok ang MILG. Kasi meron kang pwede mong immobilize ang SK for information. Pwede mong immobilize ang mga barangay to do barangay. Kasi may requirement naman ang barangay assembly. So maraming opportunities na pwede. Ang key point yan, pagtutulungan. Pagtutulungan within our own capacity and within our influence. Salamat.
Thank you, sir. Gusto ko lang mag-comment dun sa numbers. Yung population. Ang base population natin when we did the study is yung registered voters in BARM. Tapos, ang kinuna natin, syempre hindi na registered voter lang yun. Ang base population is base population is the registered voter, pero yung sampling rate natin, kinuha natin sa mga bumoto noong 2022. Kasi sila yung likely voter. Sila yung active in terms of voting. Now, sa isang research, hindi naman kailangan kung 600,000 yan sila, hindi kinakailangan dapat 300,000 i-interview mo talaga. Meron pong mga scientific procedures in doing that. At scientifically, kinumpute naman yan siya. Actually, ang lumabas doon na kailangan lang interviewin is nasa 1,000 plus lang. Pero dinoble namin, ginawa namin 3,072. Dinoble namin yung number para mas accurate, mas representative. Now, at 3,072 respondents, ang statistical margin natin was 99.1 confidence level. Tapos meron tayong 1.77 confidence interval. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun is ganito. Kung uulitin natin yung survey, kasi yung survey natin ginawa natin ng April 29 to May 14. Okay. Pagkatapos nun, kung uulitin natin yun for the next week, meron lang tayong 1% margin of error na hindi yun yung sagot. 99% tayo na sure na yung na-generate natin or na-collect natin na sagot, yun pa rin ang lalabas na sagot. So lahat ito dumaan sa scientific na proseso. And that's why we are confident na 3,072. Siguro ang magiging maganda, and we pick that up, yung disaggregation, the 14 sectors, mas magandang mapakita siya, at saka yung political party affiliation, isa yun sa mga importante disaggregation groups or segmentation na mas magiging informative. And we hope, kung may mga kasunod pang endeavors, the academic sector can pick up research titles or research agenda dito. So perhaps you can also feed that idea sa data analysis ninyo. Okay? Any more questions? Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, on. Assalamualaikum, good morning. Ang question ko po ma'am, yung about sa electoral processing or what you call this? Yung voting system po. So ano po yung pamamaraan natin para ma-aware ang ating mga kababayan Bangsamoro dito sa electoral sa mga electoral knowledge, especially daw sa mga voting system para magiging maayos at hindi unfair yung pagboto natin sa bawat municipality, barangay, and other provinces like Basulta. So maraming salamat. This is Taya from Idealist TV Luzon.
Sir Noor, would you like to comment on that? Hindi mo inabutan. Ano daw po yung sa electoral knowledge, ano daw pwedeng gawin para ma-ensure na fair yung proseso ng pagboto, especially sa Basulta?
Well, ang information, supply mo yung, sabihan mo yung, doon sa voters education, kasama yung pati proseso ng pag-eleksyon. O paano boboto, saan sila boboto, ano yung dapat nila isusulat. So kasama yun sa proseso. Iba naman yung mga issues associated with yung how do you protect the result of the vote. COMELEC yun. Ang pwede lang natin ma-address pagdating sa voters education, sabihin sa kanila, ganito yung proseso. Ito yung feature ng bagong parliamentary system. Paano siya naiba sa national, paano rin siya naiba sa previous na Regional Legislative Assembly. So, yun yung pwede mong magawa pagdating sa voters education. And then i-remind sila na ang pag-eleksyon, pahalagaan mo kasi karapatan mo yan. Yun yung pwede mong gawin. Pero yung physical protection ng mga ballots, mga ganyan, mandato yan ng COMELEC at mga deputized agencies niya na to protect the integrity of the ballot. Na mag-reflect kung ano talaga yung kung ano yung binoto ng mga tao, yun sana yung nabilang. So, yan ay hindi ano dito sa research. Pero yung system na yan ay dapat maraming ahensya ang merong responsibility. So siguro sa mga other forum na meron kayong opportunity with the COMELEC, tanungin nyo kung paano nila protektahan, paano natin masiguro na halimbawa yung boto ng isang komunidad sa isolated island sa particular na province, na kung dinalayan siya sa poblasyon, sa Kapitolyo, eh yung boto doon ng mga tao, actual na boto, yun ang magre-reflect at mabilang. So yun yung pwedeng sagutin ng COMELEC. Pero kami, research, hindi kasama yon sa research. More of awareness about the system among likely voters. Yun lang yung amin. So yung tinatanong nyo is the bigger at the other aspect of our election system. Pero I'm hoping na the BO sa BARM will have the opportunity to have also regular interaction, updating sa media. Halimbawa, nag-announce naman ng COMELEC, sinasabi nila, kailan ba i-print out ang ballot? Kailan ba yung final listahan? So I think every now and then, we'll just have to keep up with them. And to make sure, kasi kayo yung fourth pillar na they are accountable to what they are saying. Base sa kanila.
Okay, so salamat ma'am kasi tinapon niyo yung tanong na yun kasi now we go to your assignment number 2. Oh, akala nyo may assignment kayo parang ayaw din nila, gusto nila kasi may isang assignment, meron na naman ngayon. Ayaw na nila. Kaya nga, importante, alam nyo na ngayon na ito yung hindi alam. Yung voting system, yung proseso ng pagboto, paano yung 32 seats, paano yung 40, paano yung 8. Kaya, it is your obligation, kasi kayo yung magiging communication and information arm. Importante, seek information. For the academic sector, sabi ni Sir Nor kanina, if you intend to conduct forums or campaigns about this, mag-imbita po kayo ng reliable na speaker. Yung media naman, seek reliable information or correct information from reliable sources. Kasi sabi ko kanina, hindi tama na sabihin nyo lang na marami ang walang alam. Hindi ganon. May obligation tayo to inform. Okay. Kung hindi kaya, okay, we enjoin the COMELEC and the other agencies to intensify voter education, political education. Yes, sir. I see a hand kanina. Meron mo bang gusto magtanong pa? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Ferdinand Cabrera po. Ang question ko lang doon sa reason kasi na yung knowledge ng knowledge nila sa election, economic yung livelihood yung nagtatap doon, does that mean ba yun pa rin yung tradition na because kung sino magbibigay, siya yung iboboto. Yun kasi yung challenge sa history ng ARM elections, ang magdadrive naman talaga ng election sa communities ay kung sino yung leaders doon, binibitbit nila kandidato. And sometimes it's not really the voice ng tao ang nasusulat, kundi kung sino yung mga actors na influential dun sa ground. Paano makakounter nitong research na ito yung magiging result ng first parliamentary elections? Morning.
I think ang isang pinakita namin sa inyong result, yung mga issues na close to their heart at yung most significant issue, meron siyang geographic consideration. So halimbawa, may area kung saan influential ang local leader. May area influential kung ano yung matatanggap nila sa party. So, depende ho yun kung sinong gagamit ng research. Kung halimbawa, kung ikaw ay gobyerno, ang mandato mo is to protect the integrity of the ballot, then ang gagawin mo is i-inform mo yung mga tao doon base doon sa nakita mong preference na kung halimbawa base sa immediate benefit ang nakikita nila, then i-inform mo yung mga tao na election is more than that. Yun yung pwede mong gawin. Pagdating naman doon sa, halimbawa, ginagamit yung local officials, depende rin kung ikaw ay political party. Kung halimbawa, nakalagay sa Basilan, ang sabi ay party is endorsed by local government official, 55%. So more than half of the respondents said, ito yung rason para iboto nila yung political party, endorse siya ng kanilang local leader. So kung ikaw ay political party, ang gagawin mo, maghanap ka ngayon ng influential local leader. Kasi yun ang data. Maghanap ka ngayon ng leader na pwedeng makatulong sa party mo. Kasi ang preference ng tao sa area, kalahati ng mga likely voters, sumusunod kung ano yung sinasabi ng kanilang local leader. Pwede rin, kung ikaw naman ay gobyerno at neutral ka, pwede mong sabihin, kung kung mga local leader ay influential, kukuha ako ngayon ng mga local leaders who will be involved in voters education. So that voters are properly informed about the importance and the purpose of the election. Kaya itong data na to, depende kung saan mo siya anggulo tingnan at sino gagamit. Gobyerno, political party, at meron din tayong sinabi sa dulo, yung civil society organization at saka development agencies. So kung ang priority nila ay livelihood, ngayon ang kailangan mo, kung ikaw ay development agency at ikaw ay civil society, is pag-aralan ng maigi anong klaseng livelihood ang priority nila kasi yun ang sinasabi. So if you are an NGO na involved, you're moving to plan for the next 3-year cycle ng program implementation mo, at gagamitin mo ang data na to, then mag-move ka towards livelihood. Kasi yun ang sinabi ng mga respondents as priority nila for that's close to heart. So depende kung saan anggulo ka, tinitingnan yun. Ikaw ba ay isang political party, ikaw ba ay isang government entity, o ikaw ba ay civil society or development program.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would like to address the academic sector here. Meron mo ba tayong dala ngayon na school publication? Meron ba tayong editor or mentor yung ano sa ating mga school papers? Meron? Okay, eto pala. Lalapitan ko para mas exciting. Wala pong background music. Oo, tila. Okay. So pwede bang, gusto nating marinig yung take, yung insight ng mga kabataan, kasi nga sabi natin sa result kanina, a big chunk of the likely voters in farm are the young ones. So as an editor ba, yung publication, managing editor ng inyong school publication, do you have any take or insight about this research?
Hello, Magpapabita Bangsamoro. On behalf of the student publication of MSU Maguindanao, I think it's important for us to work with academe, with other sectors, especially in Bangsamoro Youth Commission, to elect the right and competent leader for this upcoming election. We need to focus on revival of the Bangsamoro historical consciousness so that we can understand what happened in the past. I think we have to go back to the past to understand what happened in the past. Because what happened in the past is what changes the most. So, the Bangsamoro political struggle and right to self-determination is undoubtedly affect the socio-economic status of the Bangsamoro communities. And I think that it's important for us to be socially responsible, to participate in this kind of conference so that we can help the Bangsamoro community to be more empowering. Yun lang po.
So aside from oral examination, aside from your school publication, of course the circulation is within the school and it would reach to the family and friends ng mga estudyante ninyo. Aside from that, ano pa yung sa tingin mong isang pinaka-powerful na arm that you can use as the younger generation to address yung problem na low electoral knowledge ng electorate. Ang lahat ng ito ginagawa natin to prepare the electorate to make informed decisions and vote properly in 2025.
Aside from cyber citizenship awareness, you can use our social media platforms to share what is Bangsamoro electorate process, ano yung parliamentary government. So that if we use the publication to create an infographic related to for this upcoming election, we can easily allow them to encourage to be politically aware.
Okay, thank you. So, importante pa rin yung arm yourselves with the correct information. Okay? So, any more questions before we call it a day? By the way, kung mapapansin nyo, on your table, meron diyang mga QR codes. Tignan nyo yung mga tables, meron tayong QR codes. Kung pwede, request lang namin, mas-scan nyo yung registration na link at saka yung evaluation. Kung maaari po sana, makapag-fill out tayo ng registration, online registration form, pati na yung evaluation. Importante po yun. Kasi kailangan natin yung before you can finally claim your certificates of appearances and some admin matters. Jace, would you like to add anything? Admin matters? So yun lang, monitor na lang natin. We encourage you to open the link ng registration tsaka ng evaluation. Kailangan mo natin yon before we can finally wrap up the day. Okay, since wala na akong tanong, we would like to thank Professor Nur Saada, a big round of applause for being the resource person today. And the biggest insight siguro na gusto lang namin i-convey, given or knowing that the level of electoral information is this much, we know that the issues that would resonate most to voters are livelihood, peace and order, education and scholarship. Alam na natin yung mga conduits of information. The basic question is, what can we do? And I guess dito papasok yung important role ng media at ng academe as well as the other sectors to really help out for BARM to come up with a meaningful election in 2025. An election that will tell us that the ballot box and not violence is the way to effect change in Mindanao, particularly the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. So with that, maraming salamat po and magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat.